What, did you win the lottery? Why were you able to retire at 53? Many people ask me that question, and this video is about talking about how was I able to retire at 53 and some of the comments I received. So the two major comments were, did you win the lottery? Or most people were happy for me, and some people were jealous that I was retiring and kind of questioned my choice. But at the end of the day, it was my choice, and I didn't have to share exactly all my details. But in this video, I'm going to share some of my secrets of how I was able to retire, and hopefully some of these resonate with you. Before we start, here's one of my favorite bands, and kind of gives you an idea that I'm Canadian, and taxes are different here in Canada than the US, but we still manage to save and able to do most of those, I guess, savings that the US do, although we get a little bit more taxed. Anyway, so let's get started. So some folks ask me, how did I do it? So here's some of the secrets. First, I use the method from The Wealthy Barber. So if you haven't read that book yet, I think that'd be a good idea if you're just getting started. I read that when I was in my early to mid 20s. And when I say I read it, I basically borrowed the videos from the library, and they had basically every chapter of the book. So that was one of the first things I did, because it was something that a friend told me about, and I thought I'd look into it. So one of the first things that the Wealthy Barber book says is pay yourself first. So take 10% from your salary, put it in savings, and then watch it grow year over year and use compound interest to manage that. So that was one of the first things I did. And back then I put money in mutual funds. That's all, I guess, the things that we had at disposal. I did have one set of stocks that I got as a bonus for one of my jobs, I guess. And during that time, they couldn't give us any raises, so they gave us 100 shares, which actually doubled. So I ended up cashing that out as soon as I could. So that was a good start, which got me into investing. So that was another, I guess, means to increasing my year over year savings. Second thing was I live within my means. I never bought new things. I tried to find them on, back then it was Kijiji, or nowadays it's Marketplace. But I did splurge on a couple of new cars when I was younger, and not very wise, but at least they weren't expensive ones. For the most part, I buy used cars within 5 to 7 years old, with low mileage, and that makes me, I don't know, save quite a bit, and I'm able to sell them or trade them in when the time comes. The third thing that I did, I was tired of paying rent for basically a 2-bedroom. So I ended up buying a house that was 2 bedrooms with a basement. I was able to put some of these instruments in the basement, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to live in my own house, so I could play some music without interrupting others. And then the second thing was I had roommates that I didn't really enjoy having in the lower level of the house. So I bought my own house when I was in my early 30s, let's say. And I didn't buy too small of a house, but I bought a house big enough that if I was going to get married and have kids, that we'd be happy and able to fit them into the house, kind of thing. And it worked out really well for me, and I kept this house for about 30 years, which is kind of the plan, is basically buy not too big of a house and not too small of a house, just something that'll fit your lifestyle as you evolve. So another one of the secrets was organization was changing and evolving. I was in my 50s, and they were offering, I guess, voluntary packages for anybody in the company. But I figured it was a good time for me to take that rather than being showed the door, leave on my own terms. So that was a nice little, I guess, bonus that helped me make the decision to retire. And the next thing we did was that house that I had for 30 years. I ended up selling it about, I don't know, 8 months ago. And we moved into a condo that my wife already had. And this was something that, I thought it was going to be emotional to get rid of a house that you had for 30 years that you took care of. But I was happy to see that it went to a family that weren't planning to tear it down and are keeping it, and that kind of resonated with me. At the same time, no more maintenance, no more shoveling, no more grass cutting. So that was a good little bonus. As far as fees go, it's something that you can't get away of with condos. You just have to look at it and see if it makes sense. And for us, it did. So my wife and I did go on vacation in the winter times. We didn't always go to the most glamorous resorts. Sometimes we splurged a little bit, sometimes we didn't. And some of those vacations were some of the best when we didn't pay very much for the vacation and got to enjoy the sun, the beach. So it's one of those things that we made wise choices when we chose to go on vacation, and we'd go away for 1 week, 1 year, and 2 weeks another year, depending on the cost and how much time we had for vacation. So we still did that. The only thing that was different, we didn't spend large amounts of money to do that. We were even able to bring some of our family along on some of the trips because it was usually a deal that we got, and we waited for those deals. So I recommend that still enjoy your vacation, still enjoy your time away, and we certainly did, and we still were able to retire. One last thing we did was get rid of cable. So we did that a long time ago. We basically watch everything on the internet. We stream basically everything, I guess. I had Netflix from the beginning, and for a while I was able to keep that low cost membership, but recently they changed that. Still, now we just have Netflix with ads, which it doesn't really bother us very much. We don't even notice it most of the time. So that's something that we'd rather watch movies or series on Netflix, and we watch a lot of YouTube as well. So yeah, I think the cable days are over for us. So let me know in the comments what you've done to save and some other tricks to help the other people that are watching. And at the same time, please like and subscribe. It helps me, it helps others, and we'll see you next time.